once I had set the process in motion and I mentioned it to other people, that's when, you know, I really had to kind of make a decision like, well, is this worth putting out? Is this at a level of quality that I can put it out? And at that particular point, I think that I mentioned it, you know, it wasn't ready, you know. It was fantastic at the beginning of it to not necessarily have a goal, to not know if I was going to put it out, you know. But as I kept going with it, then the fact of mentioning it to other people and, you know, and maybe setting myself a deadline was useful, you know. From the time that I said, okay, I'm going to go into a studio and mix it, because that, you know, that was one step just too far, you know. I mean, so many skill sets that I developed doing this, but I wouldn't have been able to do as good a job. And also the equipment, you know, they have, that they were able to take these recordings that I made at home, you know, and make them sound, you know, okay, which is still amazing to me. I restricted myself in a certain way that, you know, that it was all going to be groove based. Part of that was the limitations of what I was trying to do. Like, you know, you can set up a quick track and then you've got a tempo to play with. If you have a part of a song that goes out of time and then you want to go back in, that's very, very difficult to plan, you know, without it. So that was one thing. It's like, okay, everything is going to be in time, you know. And then I decided that it was going to be restricted to either 4/4 or 3/4, because I had this feeling going into it and noticing my own listening habits, you know, that I wasn't necessarily in the mood for the most intricate, complex music. I wanted something that made me feel good, because there was just so much kind of anxiety and uncertainty in the air. You know, I didn't feel like I needed more of that from my music, you know. So if I had an idea going into it, it was like, well, let me make some music that just would make me feel good. That's the framework that I started out from. So I did have an idea, and it was, you know, putting certain restrictions on it. Like, again, I mean, yeah, there are other records that I could have made by myself too that had a different focus. This is the one that I felt like I wanted to make now.